Hello friends, I am Dr. Karthik Prabhu, Chairman for Doctors Classified. Today we are in between a large pandemic and there are a lot of media circulation. We don't know what are the facts honestly happening. So this video is aimed to have a discussion on the facts in this pandemic at this point in time. To answer these questions, I have with me Dr. Nandagopal, a pulmonologist from Institute of Lung Care at Hindustan Hospitals, who has been treating COVID since its inception. So, good morning, Dr. Nandagopal.
Greetings, Dr. Karthik Prabhu.
Yeah. Now, I would like to ask the first question to Dr. Nandagopal that in this third wave of pandemic, Omicron variant, many say it is milder, less severe, they have lesser oxygen requirements and minimal death. Then why this hype? I want you to answer this question, Dr. Nandagopal.
Yeah. Thanks for that nice introduction, Dr. Karthik Prabhu. It's a very valid question. It's a very dangerous notion and perception that Omicron is a very mild variant. It is beginning of the end of the pandemic. It is actually causing a natural vaccination to all people who are hesitant to take vaccines, and the pandemic will pass off after this variant goes. This thinking may be due to various reasons. Because of our historical evidence from the previous flu pandemic, where with the third wave, the flu pandemic abated, number one. Number two, because of fatigue associated with the pandemic, because we are all in a restricted environment with wearing masks all the time, all this. Hearsay, a lot of WhatsApp forwards are being given. There is a parallel university which is going on there. And mere wishful thinking. But the reality is that Omicron, yes, it is a common disease. It causes only common mild disease-like symptoms with common cold-like symptoms. But the problem with that is, with the common cold-like symptoms, people will not take testing. So they will spread around the infections much more rapidly by mingling around with many more people, causing rapid transmission among the population. Then what will happen is they may infect some vulnerable set of people. So this may cause a steep increase in numbers, which we are seeing in India right now. We have reached more than 1 lakh patients in no time. This is much faster than the first or second wave, what we had witnessed earlier. So this can overwhelm hospital facilities. This is something which we need to be very cautious about. So Omicron, yes, it's a mild disease, but don't think it is it will not cause severe disease or it will not cause deaths, because there are reports which are saying that it may cause severe or even deaths.
Yes, doctor. So you mean to say Omicron, will it result in serious disease and will it cause death? A direct question again.
I'll start from the common belief again. Common belief is that Omicron is going to cause only mild disease. No, it is not. Yes, a majority of people, more than the Delta variant or the even Alpha variant, may have only may have mild disease, like common cold or any other acute viral fever, like 1 or 2 days of fever. But in a small set of vulnerable people, it will cause serious disease. It may even result in hospitalization and death. So this is the fact which you need to be aware of and beware of. For a population of our country, which is 130 crores, what will happen is, even if the small percentage of serious cases are being taken into account, let's say there is only 1% of cases are going to be hospitalized, or 5% of cases are going to be hospitalized. On a 130 crore population, it is more than 5 to 10 crores. So will we be able to stand that kind of, will our hospital facilities will be able to stand that kind of a pandemic? Because this is going to happen, again, please note the South Africa experience and UK experience. It's going to take place in a very short span of time. So in a short span of time, increased numbers with the even small increase in hospitalizations will cause. Even if you take less than 1% of deaths, even if you take 1% death, it is still 1.3 crores. Are we ready to deal with that? So that's the question. So don't think of Omicron as only a mild disease. Yes, it is a milder form of the virus, but it will not just cause mild disease only, it may cause serious disease also.
Thank you, doctor. That is a valid point. So, is it possible to differentiate between Omicron and Delta variant either symptomatically or clinically?
No, it is not. It is clinically or symptomatically impossible to differentiate between Omicron variant and a Delta variant. So the difference can be only done by an RT-PCR testing and particular genomic classification using advanced testing methods. So the common test which is told is that S gene, if it is absent, it may likely to be Omicron in a positive patient. But it again needs further testing to confirm. So please do not think that I got only an Omicron variant going by the fact that I got a common cold or a fever. It may not be. So any variant, COVID is COVID. Please isolate yourself, quarantine yourself, come out from other family members and test at an appropriate time.
Yes, sir. Reports that doctors and healthcare workers are getting affected more and more. What is your take on that, sir?
Sir, large number of breakthrough infections are happening. The reinfections are happening. There are people who got affected in May, they got affected again. Again, maybe due to Delta, maybe due to Omicron, we are not sure yet. The frontline workers are getting infected in bunches and clusters right now. So probably because of again fatigue and being in constant vigil over the last couple of years. So even if it's mild disease, the problem is that frontline workers like hospital doctors and healthcare workers, staff nurses, they need to be isolated. And when this is happening in clusters, there is a big strain on the hospital facilities, healthcare system as such. This can be disastrous because if they are the frontline workers and they are getting isolated, who will treat the increasing number of patients who are going to come in? So this is something which is very dangerous. So despite the vaccinations, yes, there are breakthrough infections which are happening, which we have to accept. That's why the booster dose program or the precautionary dose program has been advocated right now.
Yes, sir. Then when it is spreading so much, then why take a vaccine or a booster dose is a question from many. What is your take on that, sir?
See, this is a very common question. I got vaccine, I still got infected. So was the vaccine useful at all is the question. Globally, going by the numbers, vaccinated individuals are much better off than unvaccinated individuals when it comes to infections. Yes, breakthrough infections are happening. That is also being advocated as a cause of vaccine hesitancy. No, it should not be the case. The booster doses as well are known to have increased efficacy against the Omicron variant as well. So please, we should be going for the booster or precautionary dosing. And vaccinated individuals, please, I am telling again and again, vaccinated individuals are doing much better. This has been historically proven in flu also. Now we have been seeing in COVID also. Sheer numbers or the researchers will take certain time to come out. But the initial reports are very encouraging. All the vaccines are really working much better.
Sir, what is your recommendations to the public and healthcare workers?
First, we need to accept that the pandemic is still ongoing and it's a clear and present danger now. It can still cause problems. It can still stretch our healthcare systems. It can still cause. We should not forget the scenario we witnessed in May when we are searching for beds, when we are frantically searching for oxygen, when we are frantically searching for medicines. Everything was in a short supply because sudden increased numbers in a short span. We are much better off. The government has taken enough steps to control this. The governments actually are doing their role. The problem is the individuals. Are we doing, our public, are we doing our role is the big question mark now. We should take the personal responsibility for a bigger role to limit this pandemic.
Sir, what are the precautionary steps you suggest to individuals now?
See, these steps I need not tell again, but let me just go through this. This has been advocated from the inception of the pandemic. The first and foremost is proper usage of masks, not on the chin, not on the throat, but covering both the nose and the mask in a proper fit. If necessary, use double masks and do not repeatedly use N95 masks. Yes, I know N95 masks were being told to reuse again at the initial days of the pandemic when everything was in a short supply. But I am pained to see people using N95 masks after washing them. No. Cloth mask can be washed, and use a cloth mask and a simple face mask together. The double mask technique is as good as an N95 mask, particularly when N95 mask is being washed and used. That's not useful at all, number one. Number two, please maintain social distancing at all possible places, if at all people, and avoid social gatherings as much as possible. And people are going to parties, people are going to malls, and people are going to theaters as if everything is over. No, it's not yet. Please avoid gatherings, particularly in closed spaces. The open environments are seen to be much more safer compared to closed environments. And whenever symptoms are there, please make sure that we are isolating ourselves and testing early, and seek medical help early when the symptoms are minimal, rather than waiting for things to happen. And one more thing is, get the immunization doses. Those who haven't got the second dose yet, please go ahead and get it. People, I know there are certain people who haven't even got the first dose. Please go ahead and have the first dose at least now. Second dose, people who have got the first dose and become complacent after that, please go and have second dose. And for those who are going for booster dose, don't go by the WhatsApp forwards are saying that vaccines are not effective or anything. Vaccines have proven time and again effective. We have come off, I can say, from smallpox to polio to anything only through vaccines. Vaccines are the most important invention in the history of human medical interventions. So that is useful. Please go ahead. And one before last, I'll say, make sure that everyone around us, family, friends, and the social circle, are following COVID appropriate behavior. The last of the point I would like to reiterate is that for Omicron, the government, by its protocol itself, have suggested home isolation as an important strategy. So what do we need to do for home isolation and home quarantine? We need to follow the right steps for home quarantine, which we need to follow clearly. So complacency at this situation, no, it should not be. I'll reiterate again, we need not panic. At the same time, we should be vigilant and cautious. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Dr. Nandagopal. That's a nice discussion. And friends, we'll see you on the next interview on home isolation with Dr. Nandagopal. Thank you, Dr. Nandagopal. That was very nice discussion.
I just want to ask you one question. You are talking about Doctor Classified, Doctors for Doctors initiative. What is that exactly?
Doctors Classified is aimed to make a one-stop solution for all the doctors' needs. Right now we have three verticals. One is matrimonial for healthcare people. The second one is employment in healthcare. And the third one is buy, sell, rent, share in healthcare. So it is aimed at improving the problems and to solve for all healthcare facilities and workers. Thank you, Dr. Nandagopal. That was a nice question again. And we'll see you all on the next video on home isolation. So stay tuned. Thank you. Good day, one and all. Thank you.
Bye.